Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. It begins in the 13th century with a team of witch hunters from the Order of the Axe and Cross traversing a frozen biome. They search for the absolute ruler of the witches at the site of a giant plague tree, which she's already used to spread the Black Death from and kill half the population. The founding member Kaulder seeks revenge on the queen for the death of his family and is led into battle by his commander Dolan. They climb inside of the vast tree and search through it like it's a forest, until reaching an opening where a hunter narrowly misses the witch leader with his throwing axe. When he retrieves it, a counter curse turns the soldier into a vessel for a swarm of plague flies that suffocate the hunters. Hexen warriors protect their leader while Kaulder pours a flammable liquid over his iron sword, known to the witches as Hexenbane. The fire and iron combination can destroy the queen, but the hunter goes off searching for her within the plague tree by himself. He's suddenly put into a trance where he sees his family still alive, giving the witch queen the moment she needs to knock Kaulder into a pit at the center of the tree. The queen casts a spell that begins to drag the hunter into the dark dimension while confessing her obvious disgust for mankind. Readily willing to sacrifice himself, Kaulder pulls a flare that forces back the darkness and explodes at contact with his fuel source. It disorientates the queen, allowing the hunter to nail her to the tree with Hexenbane as it begins to burn down around them. Knowing that he wants to visit his family in the afterlife, the witch uses her remaining energy to transfer her immortality to Kaulder so that he may never rest in peace. They both seemingly die together when the axe and cross come across them, but the Immortal's still alive and goes on to become the Order's most infamous warrior. In present day, the witch hunters are based out of St. Chrysostom's Church in New York City, where Kaulder continues to police the magic. His plane experiences turbulence that he attributes to a witch when he uses the air element to reveal magic residue on the window. His ring locates the witch causing it, but she's just an inexperienced rookie with no clue what's going on. She's in possession of runes that when combined cause the weather to fluctuate, so Kaulder separates them before the storm kills everybody. He lets her go but keeps the contraband stored in his vault at his penthouse overlooking the city. The hunters now have a truce with the witches' council and only arrest the ones who get out of line, while Dolan has become the name for all of the priests that are appointed by the Order to assist Kaulder. He's currently on his 36th Dolan, who's approaching retirement after 50 years of loyal service to his best friend. When he dies, his successor will be the young Dolan, known only as 37 and with a lifelong mission to serve. One day the witch hunter gets a call informing him that 36 has passed in his sleep and attends the funeral to grieve. It's also 37's initiation, where he's branded as the new Dolan, and talks with the intimidating force known to the Order as the Weapon. The hunter suspects foul play and travels with 37 to the deceased's apartment to have a look around. He uses two of the elements to reveal magic residue, finding no signs of a witch, but when he's about to leave notices dead plague flies and tries another. Dirt exposes runes engraved into the floorboards and surroundings as the building shakes and spits out a griffin's henbane used in forbidden magic. Noticing the burns on his hands, Kaulder questions the last person who saw 36 alive. 37 reveals that they've met before when the hunter saved him from the witches that killed his parents. The burns are from then, and he's been waiting all his life to repay him by helping him slay more witches for the Order. To get answers for the henbane, the two travel to a bakery owned by a former warlock named Max, who uses magical insects to enchant his food. He says that the henbane's used in necromancy and that this one smells of crabapples. With a crabapple tree as their location to find, we see one nearby being used by a warlock to lure in unsuspecting children. Kaulder saves the latest kid's life by telling him not to take food from strangers, then enters the building to find a young girl imprisoned by the witches. She suddenly turns into a warlock named Elec, who stabs the hunter and attempts to run, but he's arrested and taken prisoner for being found with 36's retirement present. They take him back to the cathedral to be put before a trial of his peers, where in the necropolis beneath it the council of witches have gathered for Governess Glaeser to determine Elec's fate. She uses her necklace to summon a massive creature of reanimated bones called a sentinel. The golem snatches up the rogue warlock and takes him to the underworld prison, where he's suspended with everyone the witch hunters ever captured. Kaulder then saves Glaeser from one of the plague flies and realizes that 36 didn't die and was just cursed by dark magic. The only way to break the curse is to kill the powerful warlock who hexed Dolan Belial. Noticing that 36's fingertips bleeding, Kaulder goes back to the apartment, where he finds smudges in a book marking out the words to remember his death. Unable to remember 800 years ago, Kaulder goes to a tavern that serves potions run by a rare type of witch called a dreamwalker. Chloe's asked for a memory spell as the rest of the witches and warlocks all scatter at the sight of the famous witch hunter. She injects a cherry with magic, which Kaulder consumes, and is transported to the plague tree, where his charred corpse kneels at the queen's feet. Suddenly he's pulled out of the memory spell by Belial, who's already chained him to the floor. The hunter breaks all of the bones in his hand to escape and heals nearly instantly, but the powerful magic user knocks him back and lights Chloe's bar on fire. Due to the delirium experienced by the memory spell, Kaulder hallucinates the Witch Queen and attacks Chloe, but she uses some pixie dust to snap him out of it. Belial escapes through the plague dimension into the alley across the street while Chloe and Kaulder both manage to escape the fire. That night Chloe is snatched up and taken from her apartment into the plague realm. But before it consumes her, she's dragged out by Kaulder and wakes up in his place. The Hunter and 37 have found Belial's identity, but Chloe's pissed at him for causing the destruction of her bar. Still needing to perform the memory spell, they visit Chloe's botanist friend to retrieve new supplies for the potion. While there we learn that the Dreamwalker is part of a witch hunter thread that consider him a genocidal fascist for the slaughter of witches. Unable to find the supplies, they discover Chloe's friend dead after already having a visit from Belial. They next go to the Eastern Vale to search for supplies where the witches use magic to disguise themselves as models. The glamorous leader Danique puffs on a hookah and uses burial dirt to cause her smoke to put Kaulder in a trance. He's trapped in a paradise with his family while being taken away in the real world, until Chloe enters his mind, allowing him to snap out of it. He scares everyone away, so Danique confesses that she helped Belial to obtain the burial dirt for the ritual that'll summon the Witch Queen. She did it in exchange for the vanity charm that Chloe crushes on her way out to reveal the ugly old hag in her true form. The two return to the witch's council chamber where Kaulder shows Chloe the story of her people through murals on the walls. He tells her that Dreamwalkers don't need a potion to cast a memory spell if they try hard enough, motivating her to take them back to the Plague Tree's final hours. They revisit his charred remains where the axe and cross arrive to find the Witch Queen's heart still beating. Dolan tries to destroy it but realizes that he can't without also killing their best warrior, so instead he tells the Order that it's done while pocketing the heart. With this revelation, Kaulder confronts the new Dolan for lying to him for all these years and letting him endure immortality. 37 says that they all simply feared what would happen if they destroyed it, but thinks that 36 was planning to do it to free Kaulder from his curse on the night he died. Elsewhere, Max is abducted by Belial and strapped to a tree to be sacrificed as the Witch Queen's vessel. The warlock puts the witch's heart that he obtained from 37's confession inside the burial dirt at the base of the offering, and the evil magic consumes him, turning Max into a rooted cocoon. Kaulder arrives at the ritual, having tracked them down through the rental truck that transported the dirt. He finds the blind man stuck to the tree when attacked by Belial with a fireball and his own shotgun, but kills him instantly with an iron dagger to the throat. The Witch Queen's already returned and takes back the hunter's immortality as the final stage of her resurrection. She peels off Max's skin and knocks Kaulder back with a swarm of the plague flies, then retreats into the tree to begin casting her eradication of humanity. With Belial dead, Kaulder returns home to find that the curse was broken on 36 and the two reunite. Afterwards, the hunter collects the weather runes and Hexenbane before leaving with Chloe to go hunt some witches. They're met at the cathedral by 37, who's come to help, and they find the inside overgrown with the plague. The Witch Queen's already killed the modern-day council and began casting the spell by empowering herself using the collective consciousness of the witches imprisoned. The hunter retrieves one of them and gets Chloe to enter Alec's mind to stop him from spreading the plague, while Kaulder fights off Glaeser's sentinel that reforms to try put the prisoner back in his cell. The bone amalgamation just reforms and keeps coming back, but is destroyed by the hunter when he's able to locate the creature at the center of it all and crush it. When Kaulder goes searching for the queen, he's transported to her nature version of New York City. The two battle until the hunter kills the illusion, transporting them both back to the necropolis where they continue to fight, with this time the hunter taking visual damage from the witch's strikes. Meanwhile, Chloe locates Alec's consciousness within the plague tree, but her attacks are foiled and the two begin a struggle. But it's finished quick when Alec's knocked into the pit where he breaks his neck in the magical chant. Unable to see the Witch Queen hiding in the darkness, Kaulder uses bottled sunlight to illuminate the cave and inflame Hexenbane. His strikes slice through the witch, leaving her defeated on the floor until 37 enters holding Chloe at gunpoint. He reveals that his parents were actually the witches that Kaulder killed, and shoots him in the chest, causing the flaming sword to be extinguished. He kneels before the Witch Queen in the hope that she'll grant him the magic that he was born without, but she refuses and kills 37, saying that she can't turn clay into gold. She then possesses Chloe and uses her to replace Alec's spot in the chant to continue spreading the plague. It spills out into Manhattan as 36 watches on, fully recovered from the weapons penthouse. After being motivated by a vision of his family once again, Kaulder combines the weather runes, causing a storm to form inside the cave, and rises to continue the fight with the witch. Without any fire, Kaulder hurls Hexenbane through a lightning bolt to combine with the iron and penetrate the Immortal. She explodes as her charred remains collapse to the ground and her plague bugs fall from the sky. Chloe and Kaulder both survive but notice that his immortality has returned when his wounds heal. The witch's exposed heart still beating and they're back at square one, so Kaulder is prepared to sacrifice himself to permanently destroy her, but Chloe talks him out of it. She says that it's better he remains immortal to deal with future threats like with the queen. and reserves to fight evil together free from the axe and cross. The better Dolan agrees to delay his retirement and stay on with Kaulder, while the heart stored inside the vault waiting for another witch or warlock to find it. And the movie ends.